portion. I always tell my students it looks like a little hand. Nom 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 nom. So this is your frontal lobe here. This is your temporal lobe. Your parietal lobe is right here, and then the occipital lobe is this back part. Right down here is the cerebellum. We have some divisions. The frontal lobe posteriorly ends at the central sulcus, okay, and then inferiorly and laterally at the lateral sulcus. The two halves of the brain are divided by the longitudinal fissure. In the posterior part of the brain, the occipital lobe and the parietal lobes are divided by the occipital-parietal sulcus, which we really is not seen very well on many of our models. And then lastly, what separates the cerebrum from the cerebellum is the transverse fissure. So this right here is the transverse fissure. Okay, looking internally at the brain. Come on, open up. Whoops. The most outer part is gray matter. This inner part right here is all white matter. And then we have some what are called cerebral nuclei located deep within the brain. Looking at some of the structures in the middle of the brain here, this is the corpus callosum. The corpus callosum is your white tract, your white axon. It's a commissure that connects the left and right halves of the brain. This right here is called the septum lucidum. Septum lucidum, jeez. And then this line right here is the fornix. What you are seeing is the wall right here that separates the lateral ventricles. So on the other half of this brain, there is no wall, but there is a ventricle. Okay? So this right here, the septum lucidum, is in between the two ventricles. And then the fornix is the floor of the ventricles. Continuing on to the diencephalon, this middle part right here is the thalamus. This is the hypothalamus, and then back here is the epithalamus, and what I'm concerned about you knowing is the pineal gland. 39 is your anterior commissure. Anterior commissure, this would be your intermediate mass, and then the posterior commissure. Again, these are all tracts that connect the left and right halves of the brain. Moving on to the mesencephalon here, we have the pons, and the medulla oblongata, the cerebellum, with the gray cortex and then the white matter creating the arbor vitae. Looking at the ventricles, we have the third ventricle here, the cerebral aqueduct, and then this would be your fourth ventricle. If we look at an anterior view, here is the pons. This next swelling is the medulla oblongata. And then this swelling right up in here are your cerebral peduncles, which you can't see very well. Besides that, this model is only really good to show you the cranial nerves. So this is olfactory, here's optic. Your ocular motor is right here, coming from this area. Trochlear is coming up from here. Trigeminal, abducens, facial is number 7. Number 8 is vestibulocochlear. Number 9, glossopharyngeal. Number 10, vagus. Number 11, accessory. And number 12,